Hi there and welcome back. Today we're going to dive into one of the most useful but often overlooked features on your iPhone, the Control Center. It's a quick access panel that puts essential settings and features at your fingertips. If you've ever needed to get to features like your flashlight, Wi-Fi, or sound quickly, the Control Center makes it super simple and convenient without even having to go to the Settings app. Let's get started and make sure your Control Center is customized to fit your needs. I'm going to show you from my phone first, and then we'll dive deeper with instructions. Okay, so let's start from the top right of your home screen and swipe down. This is the Control Center. Let's try that again. You can practice it a few times. So from here, you'll see a plus. That's how you're going to add more controls to the Control Center. When you click on the plus, it will give you the option to add a control. Okay, let's do that again. Okay, at the same time, you can see the controls that you already have here can be deleted. That's what the little minus is on the top of each box. So if you decide you don't want to have a scanner, QR code scanner here, you can delete that. So this is the list of controls that come default in the Control Center. If there's a tool here that you don't use often, you can remove it. If there's a feature you need, you can add it right here. We're going to go over what each of the tools are, but become familiar with this page and the way you got there. Top right corner, swipe down. There's also something new in the Control Center. You can turn your phone off with this power button right here. Just hold it down, and then you would slide to power off. Now let's go back and add some controls. Click on the plus. There's also one other way to add a control. Just hold down the screen with your finger. Okay. Now you can use the little handle to drag it, and you'll see what the tool does. So we have camera, flashlight, orientation, volume, brightness. These are all your connectivity apps. So you have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, airplane mode. So let's tap another control. Let's add in text size. You might also want to add a magnifier. Let's look at that. Tap on it. And let's move it so we can see the name. Let's do another one. Tap add a control. Let's add a quick note. Now we're going to move it so we can see the name and make it bigger. Let's do another. Let's do voice memo. Click on that one and move it. Now you can see the name and you'll know what the tool does. When you're done, just tap on the screen. Why don't we add a few more? Let's tap on add a control. Let's look for low power mode. It's the battery right here. Tap on that. It doesn't fit on this page if we want to see the name. Let's put it over here. I can see I already have one of those. Let's go ahead and delete that. Let's pull in the handle and make it bigger so we can see what the tool does. Let's make this one bigger too. So we're going to look through the list and see if there's anything that would be useful for you. Why don't we add some of the clock features? You can add an alarm. Stopwatch. And let's add a timer. You can also see on the side of the page, there are multiple pages now in the control center. Let's say you're happy with the control center now. Let's go ahead and try out a few of the tools. Let's look at how the flashlight works. It now has a feature where you can change the brightness of the flashlight. And here's a little toggle where you can make it dimmer and brighter. And when you're done, you can just tap it to turn it off. You can make your screen brighter. You can make your sound louder. So the focus icon, let's tap on that. This will mute all your sounds and give you focus while you're doing work or school or sleeping. You can go on Do Not Disturb by tapping that. And the phone will mute your sounds until you turn it back off. The tools are organized by apps and categories. This first section is suggested controls. You'll also see sections for capture, clock, connectivity, display, brightness, focus, home, notes, now playing, remote, shortcuts, sounds, translate, utilities. We saw a bunch of those on our control center already. Then there's voice memos, wallet, watch. And then there's a whole section of new accessibility tools. These weren't in the control center before. We're going to go through all these in a future video. So the first section is suggested controls, and then the rest of the tools are in order alphabetically. Let's go back to our control center. Let's look at the magnifier. If you have something that you're trying to read and you can't quite see it, you can use this and look at it up close. Let's go back to the control center. Swipe down from the top right. This is your control center, so organize it however it works best for you. Put your most used tools at the top and the least used tools at the bottom. You can add tools by tapping the plus or holding down the screen. You can remove tools by pushing the minus and resize them to see their names. Tap the screen when you're done. As I mentioned earlier, we're also going to dive deeper with instructions for those who prefer to see the steps written out. If you already understand how to use the control center, feel free to stop the video now. So let's swipe down from the top right corner and get back to our control center. This is your toolbox with shortcuts to common tools. If your screen looks different, you might not have updated your phone to the latest operating system. Once you do that, come back and check out all the new features Apple added. So here's the default view. You can click the plus to add more tools. You can hold down the power button if you need to turn your phone off. Your page may look a little different if you've already added or removed tools. You can see the default tools now have more options. Tap the minus to delete a tool. Tap and drag the handle to the right to enlarge a tool and see its name. Now let's try adding these tools: text size, magnifier, and low power mode. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to take a minute to look for them. The tools we added are at the bottom of the control center now. You can move them around and even move tools to the next page while they're still highlighted. If they're not highlighted anymore, go ahead and tap the plus at the top of the screen again to move them. As we talked about before, you can enlarge the size of the tool so you can see the name. Drag the handle on the bottom right corner. We can now see magnifier and low power mode. Now tap on the background to exit edit mode. You can try out your new tools. Make your text larger or smaller. Turn on low power mode to save your battery. Try out the magnifier tool. Now let's go ahead and make sure we can see the names of all our tools. Drag on the bottom right handle until it's large enough to see the name. Let's go through and look at each tool and what it does. After the favorites page, the tools are listed alphabetically. You can see the name of each tool underneath the icon. In this section, we have the capture tools. We have the camera, the QR code scanner, Instagram, and the magnifier. Then we have ChatGPT and some tools for the clock, alarm, timer, and stopwatch. These are the connectivity tools. You have airplane mode, cellular data, Bluetooth, personal hotspot, Wi-Fi, and then down here we have brightness, text size, orientation for when you want your screen to stay locked in one direction. You have screen recording, dark mode, and screen mirroring. On this page, we start with focus, the do not disturb group of tools. Then we have the home group. This is good for anyone who has a smart home. Then we have Instagram. On the next page, we have notes. We have now playing, which is either music or a book or a podcast, and remote. On this page, we have shortcuts. We have open app, which is just a shortcut to make any app have a shortcut to it on this control center. Then we have sounds and translate. Now we have utilities: flashlight, low power mode, calculator, print center, scan the QR code, magnifier, and voice memo. Now we see wallet, tap to cash, and ping my watch. The final group of tools are all accessibility-based tools. You have hearing tools, motor tools, and vision tools. I'll be doing a video soon about all the accessibility tools on an iPhone. Now let's take a few minutes and look over the layout of the control center. So remember, to get to your control center, you swipe down from the top right of your screen. Then you tap on the plus to add more tools. Tap Add a Control at the bottom. If you need to remove any tools you added, just tap on the minus and it will remove it from the screen. When you're happy with the layout of the control center, tap the screen to exit. I know this was a very long video, but hopefully you learned something. It's a fully customizable, super handy control center. Once you take some time to set it up the way you like, you'll save a ton of time accessing your favorite tools. I hope this makes your iPhone experience a bit easier and more enjoyable. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to leave a comment below if there's anything else you'd like to learn about.